After about 20 minutes and roughly about 5 or 6 dives of looking for fish, I didn't see any in the area. So I decided to look for some lobsters and started with some boulders and cracks, and it wasn't long until I came across my first lobster. At first glance this hole looks pretty easy to get the lobster out, but unfortunately it was like an L shape, so it meant the lobster could get tucked in around the corner and I wasn't able to access it. So I tried with the spear off my spear gun, so I had a bit more reach and a bit more length into the hole, but still couldn't get it out. And as I've mentioned previously, if I don't get them out within the first 3 or 4 goes, I tend to leave them alone and move on to a different lobster. A couple of dives later I came across this lobster in a very easy hole. Unfortunately it wasn't big enough, so I did leave it alone. I didn't even bother trying to get it out. And then straight after this, as I turned around and I was coming back up to the surface, sat on a ledge was a small brown crab, which I picked up just to show you guys, but I then released it afterwards. Being in the area, I had to pay a visit to the old lobster which I released. This time I decided to take the lobster something to eat. I managed to find myself a little cuckoo wrasse or a small ballan wrasse, and very clearly quite hungry and quite slow on getting the fish, but managed to get hold of it and had himself a nice feed. But if this is something you'd like to see more in the channel, I'm thinking of visiting the lobster on a more frequent basis and feeding it different stuff. Potentially some conger steaks from that 37-pound conger which I've still got in the freezer. After a bit more effort searching around, I eventually came across another lobster. This one was big enough and it was a lot easier to get to. So I got the hook in behind the lobster and slowly eased it out, but unfortunately it kicked up quite a lot of sand and silt within the hole. For a few seconds I thought the lobster disappeared, but then I suddenly saw it to the right, and just as it was leaving its hole I managed to get my hand on top of it and grab hold. Once I got back up to the surface and I was showing Fred the lobster that I just pulled out, it actually managed to kick and escape my hands and pretty much swim all the way back down to the bottom, but unfortunately it was too slow for me and I managed to grab it again. I'm always amazed to see how these lobsters swim. They're so streamlined and surprisingly fast for something that is actually quite slow when walking around.